The other area of pouring concrete that comes into play is dealing with construction joints in placement. This is a tank, and if you look at the tank, you can actually see the horizontal lines of the construction joints where they were making separate pours and doing it in various lifts. Unfortunately, you can also see at those construction joints, the obvious in a tank, you're going to any type of moisture, if there's any type of discontinuity between those lifts, is going to allow moisture through it, which is what you see here. That's a typical process in construction to create a construction joint, but to have them mended and tightly in physical contact with each other and have some composite action so they don't leak in the next one is pretty critical. How this happens is either in between pours, some type of latence that came up through the concrete as it was bleeding, other debris that might have gotten in there, poor consolidation that didn't get the lift, the bottom placement into the top placement into the bottom placement below it. Sometimes this has happened when very large pours have an interruption in service. It's too long and there's not a good mending of the concrete. In either way, the typical method, and I'll highlight on that slide, you'll see this cold joint in this wall. The issue is, do we have contact in there, and what level of composite action do we have between the two? One easy way to find that out, as was done on this project, was to actually core through the joint and try to inspect what you have there. Is it a physical void, or is it almost a non-void but no composite action between them, or is it just a tight area and a good construction joint? Now this next slide is actually a core through that. One nice way to find out what type of crack you're dealing with on concrete is you wet it as you see this core is, and as it dries, of course, the crack will hold moisture longer than the parent concrete will. It's a very easy way to see a crack. But you can see if I highlight it there, that's the cold joint. What we thought was a cold joint. It looks like a pretty good construction joint. And when you do have a separation into it, it's very, very small. It's very difficult to inject with crack injection type resins many times.